Good morning. It is Thursday morning, the 10th of January, 2013. Here's all the news it's worth talking about in Panama today. Yesterday, the opposition politicians in the National Assembly tried to pass a resolution to have the new Attorney General, Ana Belfon, testify before them about the disappearance of Vernon Ramos. Vernon Ramos was the subdirector of audits and analysis for the Superintendency of Market Securities. This is the guy who is primarily responsible for investigating the Financial Pacific scandal, which is going on right now. He disappeared. They had a meeting. They were talking about doing some more intervention and analysis and audits of Financial Pacific, and then this guy he's been gone now for going on since 16 November, so going on 2 months. It is ludicrous that the National Assembly they decided that the guys from the Cambio Democrático said, no, we're not going to do that. Well, why not? Okay? Now, this guy, Vernon Ramos, he was a member of the Cambio Democrático Party, and he was the primary guy who was supposed to be leading the charge on the analysis and the investigation of Financial Pacific. This whole thing, the actions of the Supreme Court, the actions of the National Assembly, and the actions of President Martinelli would make any normal person seem to think like they're covering something up. And where is Vernon Ramos? Now, these are not questions that anybody who is anti-CD or going after the president or anything else like that would ask. These are normal questions that any person with a brain who would look at the situation and go, hey, you know what? These are things that should be investigated. But they're not investigating them. So, you know, you almost have to arrive at the conclusion that there's something going on there. What's going on there? Don't know. Hopefully it will be investigated because it's also related to the Financial Pacific thing is related to Petequilla and the Petequilla insider information, and those stocks were traded in Canada. Well, then maybe somebody will investigate stuff up there. Once again, more on this rather than less. You can expect this thing to get bigger before it gets smaller. Okay, next story, Panama, America. This is about the third or fourth time that they're trying to say you're going to need one of these cards to pay for the Southern Corridor. They've tried to implement this thing like 3 or 4 times. Every time they get close to it, it kind of falls apart. Well, they've picked another date. Now it's the 14th, Monday, the 14th of January. This Monday, they're saying you're going to need a card. And they're going to have cops and guys from the transit authority stationed at the toll booths. If you show up at the toll booth and you don't have money on the card, they will give you a $20 fine. You're still going to have to pay the toll. You're going to have to give them money and put it on your card so that you can continue through, but they're going to give you a $20 fine. If you pull up to the wrong lane, they're going to give you a $20 fine. Basically, whatever you do wrong at this toll booth is instantly going to be a $20 fine. They're trying to pound it into people that they really want everybody on these cards because that makes the traffic go through the toll booth faster. However, this is a change in trying to drag people by the ears to, implement this thing. And of course, there's good questions. What about tourists and rental cars? Well, I have to assume that they're going to give you a card in a rental car when you check it out, either at the airport or in Panama City. Here, when you go through the toll booth, you got to use this card. They're simply trying to get the traffic going through the Southern Corridor faster to do away with the traffic jams. Bulldoze the toll booths, okay? That's what they should do. They should just make the whole damn road free, and then you can do away with this whole issue. But they want to get money from the drivers to pay for the road now that they've bought it, and of course, whatever. That's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. They should just make it a free road and be done with it. Okay, this one's interesting. In the Estrella, the director of the National Immigration Service, Javier Carrillo, he came out and apparently they're bringing doctors in, specialists under contract to work in the country. Now, there are Panamanian doctors that don't like that idea, and it's actually prohibited that foreigners can't work as doctors unless they're specifically contracted, as in this case. Now, there's disagreements between what the Ministry of Health is doing and what the the Social Security Administration is doing. They have two different policies on this, and the two different policies are not in alignment. But Carrillo is kind of in the middle, and he basically told some journalists went to talk to him, and he's like, hey man, you know, they've got different policies. We're just doing what we need to do. It's not my fault that they're all screwed up. And these doctors can come in and work because they're specifically being hired as specialists under contract. So Carrillo's a good dude. I've known him for a long time, and he's unscrewing a lot of things. Before I forget, the next one of these crisol de razas, this melting pot of races thing that they're going to do, which allows people to get a card so they can be a resident and they can work for 2 years. The next one is going to be in May. They are going to do another one. They're in the planning stages right now, and it's a good deal. If you want to live here and work here, that you can go through that process. Okay. They found a body on the southern corridor. Guy's a Colombian dude, Jose Lopez. He was hands were tied behind the back, feet were tied, had a blindfolded, and apparently he was suffocated and thrown off to the side of the road. Don't know why, don't know what he did. They just found his body. This one's interesting. Caimitillo. This is the village that is the closest to the Chilibre water treatment plant. They don't have water service, okay? Now, they're right next to the water service, or the water treatment plant, and they don't have water. They went out there and closed the road and complained and protested. You can't get anything done in this country. If you're a small little town out in the middle of nowhere, the only way to get anybody to do anything is to shut down the road. Then you're saying, hey, you know, we're really serious about this, so get somebody out here to fix our problem. Somebody from the Adan went out there and said, well, the water pump that they got is too small, so they've allocated the money. They're going to put in a new pump. It's going to be bigger, and it'll have water service, but that's going to take 2 months. And then the residents come out and say, yeah, the guys that are driving your water tank trucks for the Adan, they're charging us bribes, and if we don't pay the bribe, they go right on by and they go to the next place. So is anybody going to be investigating the bribes? Of course not, because that's the way this country runs, on $20 bribes. Okay, the next thing here, TVN. The Me Bus company, My Bus, is giving an update on the deployment of the new Metro buses. There are 1,200 Metro buses that have now been deployed. Of those, about 650 are giving service to the capital city. The rest of them are running around someplace else. These are the buses that have replaced the Diablo Rojos, and they are continuing with the deployment of those buses, and basically it's an upgrade to the bus service. Here are the family members of now this goes back to, this is in El Siglo. This goes back to an event that occurred on the 9th of January 2011. There was a riot in a prison. Basically, it's a juvie facility for juveniles, and they were protesting because they didn't have water. And it was basically a riot in the prison. The police went in there, and there's videotape of these cops stuffing tear gas canisters through the windows. Well, the cell on the other side, the door was locked. And these kids took the mattresses and tried to block it or something. The mattresses catch on fire. 5 of them were killed in this fire, and some others were injured. So these are the family members that are demanding justice. That case has not gone through the court. The police officers that were responsible for doing that case has not been decided. But these people had a press conference, and they're basically demanding justice. Okay, running over time a little bit here. The summertime is here in Panama. The summer has kicked in full swing. Now you've got some of the best weather all season, no rain, low humidity, and they have these annual fairs in all of the little towns. This one this weekend is in Chepo, the Feria de Tanara. Now, I would recommend, if you can find these little fairs, because they're basically like the small hometown fair. They're normally agricultural, where they'll have cows and chickens and ducks and goats, and folklore and music and arts and crafts and stuff. They're just cool little things to go check out. So if you see one of those, don't pass it up. And then the last thing I've got here from Dia Dia. They are announcing that there are going to be at least 5 different movies shot in Panama in 2013. One of them is going to be by The Rock. He's doing a TV show called The Hero, and that there's other movies that are going to be action movies and documentary, suspense, reality shows. There's the Panama, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is trying to expand and grow the film production industry in Panama. They're trying to create incentives for that. They're trying to be very friendly for that kind of business, and more and more filming is going to be done. They're saying just here with this one show, someone's going to be spending $18 million to do their production. So, yay, it's good. More stuff going on, more economic activity, and another industry that's growing in Panama. Okay, I kind of went over time a little bit. That's it for today, Thursday the 10th of January 2013. I'm done. I'm out. Have a great day. Bye.